records reveal there have been hundreds of reports of missing adults in our region in the past few years. Good evening, I'm Josh Smith.
And I'm Sarah Diamond, and many of those are likely people with dementia. That's according to Alzheimer's Tennessee. Allie Hines found out that 60% of people with dementia will wander, just one of many things that caregivers are left to worry about when a loved one is diagnosed.
Guys, right now there are almost 5,000 people here in Northeast Tennessee diagnosed with dementia. And for many of us, this disease will likely hit even closer to home. 1 out of 10 people over the age of 65 will be diagnosed, and 1 in 2 over the age of 85. I found out what one organization is doing to help those left to pick up the pieces of this disease.
We were engaged in 1957.
Together, they shared decades of marriage, 3 daughters, and 7 grandkids.
This is one of my favorite photos of her.
With all they shared, there was one thing Barbara Macris kept to herself.
She wouldn't tell me, the doctor wouldn't tell me.
When Jim Macris finally found out his wife was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
I said, well, we got to tell the girls. We have 3 daughters. And so she agreed to that. And so that's when my journey really started, because then I had to face up to reality.
As the disease progressed, Macris took on a new role as caregiver.
It's a full-time, 24-hour job.
Getting up all hours of the night, making sure she hadn't wandered from home, dealing with frustration, grief, anger.
69% of the time, the caregiver's health will fail before the person with the disease, and that even means to the point of death. And I think that people don't realize that statistic. It's huge. It's unbelievable.
Tracy Wilson is the Tri-Cities Regional Director for Alzheimer's Tennessee, a new organization to the area helping families through the journey of the disease.
We are in the process of establishing support groups where needs exist.
And Macris says that resource was a necessity for him.
It really helps you keep going. My biggest concern is that people don't want to talk about it.
His wife is now gone, but he continues to run a group to give others hope.
What they're going through, we've gone through, and you know, you can survive. One of the men told me after, he said the most important thing I learned today was that it's okay to cry.
Despite the overwhelming challenges of his last few years with his wife,
it was well worth it. We had a great love affair, and right up to the day she died. And I still think about her. I picked up an album recently. It had one song in there called Lover's Waltz, and it just and it still gives me goosebumps because I can visualize my wife and I dancing, you know.
One side note, Tracy Wilson says she hopes the state legislature will take another look at Tennessee's Silver Alert. She says she hopes it can become a statewide alert for missing seniors who suffer from dementia.